Lebanon has drawn a red line. For the first time, Beirut declares Hezbollah's arsenal must be stripped away. The army holds the mandate, yet its power is fragile, its mission secret, and its enemies still striking. As Shi'ite ministers storm out and Iran scrambles to keep Hezbollah funded, the nation faces a choice: sovereignty or shadow rule. The battle for Lebanon's future has begun. Information Minister Paul Morkos said the Lebanese military will begin implementing its plan to disarm the Iran-backed Hezbollah group following a government session discussing the matter on September 5th. A national divide over Hezbollah's disarmament has taken centre stage in Lebanon since last year's devastating war with Israel, which upended a power balance long dominated by the Iran-backed Shi'ite Muslim group.
The Council of Ministers welcomed the plan set by the Army Command and its successive stages to ensure the implementation of the decision to extend the state's authority with its forces and to confine the weapons to the hands of the legitimate authorities. The Council of Ministers decided to keep the content of the plan and its deliberations regarding it confidential, and that the Army Command would submit a monthly report on this matter to the Council of Ministers.
Morkos also claimed that Israel had not held up its end of the agreement laid out in a US-brokered ceasefire that halted the latest Israel-Hezbollah war in November.
The Lebanese army will begin implementing the plan, but according to the available capabilities, which are logistical, material, and human capabilities, that are limited at the end of the day. His Excellency the Commander, the General, presented the restrictions related to implementing this plan, which relate to the army itself, as I mentioned, but also relate to facilitating and making it easier for the army to implement the plan. And the first of these is through stopping the Israeli attacks that are obstructing the implementation of such a plan.
Under the US-brokered ceasefire, Hezbollah and Israel were both required to withdraw from South Lebanon, though Israel has kept forces in several areas it deems strategic. It continues to conduct strikes across Lebanon in response to what it says are ceasefire violations. Israel has said its strikes aim to prevent Hezbollah from rearming and to protect residents of its northern border area, and will withdraw from sites in Lebanon that its troops still occupy if Hezbollah lays down its weapons. But Hezbollah has rejected any move to dismantle its arsenal. Hezbollah official Mahmoud Komati told Reuters on September 6th that the group considered Friday's cabinet session on an army plan to establish a state monopoly on arms an opportunity to return to wisdom and reason, preventing the country from slipping into the unknown. Komati told Reuters that Hezbollah had reached its assessment based on the government's declaration on Friday that further implementation of a US roadmap on the matter was dependent on Israel's commitment. He said that without Israel halting strikes and withdrawing its troops from southern Lebanon, Lebanon's implementation of the plan should remain suspended until further notice. Lebanon's cabinet last month tasked the army with coming up with a plan that would establish a state monopoly on arms and approved a US roadmap aimed at disarming Hezbollah in exchange for a halt to Israeli military operations in Lebanon. Komati said that Hezbollah unequivocally rejected those two decisions and expected the Lebanese government to draw up a national defense strategy. Local Lebanese media reported that Shiite ministers, including representatives of Hezbollah and its ally, the Amal movement, were at the meeting on September 5th, after pro-Hezbollah newspaper Al-Akhbar said they may refuse to discuss the plan. However, shortly after the meeting began, Hezbollah and Amal ministers withdrew. They were later followed by the fifth Shiite minister in the cabinet, Fadi Maki, who is affiliated to neither party and is rather close to Prime Minister Nawaf Salam. The Hezbollah and Amal ministers then left the government palace. A Hezbollah official told the Associated Press that the ministers had agreed to withdraw when the army commander arrived. Because we consider that this plan comes out of an illegal decision, and we will not debate a matter that is built on a basis that we do not recognize as legal. The Shi'ite ministers had also walked out in protest from an earlier meeting in August in which the cabinet commissioned the army to draw up a disarmament plan under which only state institutions would have weapons by the end of the year. According to the Health Ministry and the state-run National News Agency, the cabinet session comes amid intensified Israeli airstrikes on southern Lebanon over the past 2 days, which killed at least 5 people. Meanwhile, Ashaq al-Awsat reported that Iran has sought new ways to move cash to Hezbollah, including a request to Baghdad for unusual access at a western border crossing with Syria. An unnamed senior Iraqi official told the paper he did not respond to the Iranian message because of political and security complications. The report said Iranian networks of smugglers in Syria and Lebanon have recently stepped up attempts to deliver funds despite tighter monitoring. Ashaq al-Awsat, citing political sources, said US Senator Lindsey Graham told Lebanese lawmakers last month that Washington had intelligence of millions of dollars reaching Hezbollah and wanted to know how the funds were smuggled. In 2020, the US State Department estimated that Iran gave Hezbollah $700 million a year. The report comes as Lebanon faces internal and external pressure over Hezbollah's arsenal. In August, President Joseph Aoun told visiting Iranian security chief Ali Larehani that no group should bear arms or rely on foreign backing. According to Al Arabiya, he warned against interference while affirming openness to cooperation based on sovereignty and mutual respect. Larehani responded by saying Iran did not interfere in Lebanon's affairs and that any decision taken by the Lebanese government in consultation with the resistance is respected by us. He urged Beirut to always appreciate the value of resistance, describing Israel as Lebanon's real enemy.